Aloha scholars. So Meredith here, and I hope you're doing well today. It's Monday morning for me, but Monday afternoon for you all. And what I want to do for you is I want to talk briefly about the critical thinking assessment. And that is the assessment you're going to be doing this week that is going to help you process and apply what you learned in the lecture. Okay? So the lecture this week, if you've already reviewed it, which I encourage you to have already reviewed it before watching this video, it's going to help you. But the goal of Lecture 6 is to help you explore or revisit and relearn what it means to be a critical thinker. Critical thinking has to do, it helps us problem solve in the real world. It helps us think about factual evidence versus just biased opinion, right? It encourages us to go out and seek out truth and facts to help us problem solve and navigate our lives professionally, right? We never want to just go based purely off of opinion, okay? We form opinion based on our critical thinking. We don't critical think based on our opinion, okay? It's kind of that yin and yang flip-flop, which came first, the chicken or the egg. Well, I'm telling you, critical thinking needs to come before opinion, okay? But all right, so let's go ahead and talk about the assignment, because this assignment is sometimes viewed as challenging to students, and it should be. We want to be challenged. But I want to try and make it more approachable, and I want to provide some clarity to you on what it is you're expected to do, because I don't want you to waste time overthinking or analyzing, what is it that she's looking for on this assignment. I want to be direct and upfront. So let's go ahead and just take a look at the assignment, and I'm going to break down in 3 easy steps what I am looking for with this assignment, okay? So let me get myself set up, and while I do that, you can go ahead and get yourself set up too. Okay, so what I have up here is the template, the critical thinking assignment template. There's also a directions file too, okay? So again, you will have wanted to have reviewed the Lecture 6 material before you do this assignment, because the assignment asks you to pick out some ideas from the lecture to use in your writing, okay? But let's run through the scenario real quick, because that sets us up for the assignment. So in the assignment, you are essentially being asked to be kind of this critical thinking expert. You're coming in to help Aaron and Merida finish out a project they're working on, okay? They're working on a problem-solving project, and you're going to kind of come in and help them finish the job. And the reason why you are the expert is because in Lecture 6, you get to explore and study all of these different activities and tools that help us think critically. It helps you expand your mind. It helps you explore and think outside of the box so that you can problem solve really well. So that's why you're the expert this week. That's why you are the consultant this week. So keep that in mind when you do this assignment. You're kind of serving as a consultant, and your toolbox is the Lecture 6 content. Okay, now let's run through an example of how someone might respond to one of the first problems that you're going to be working with in the assignment. So let's take a look at the academic problem that you're going to be serving as a consultant for Aaron and Merida. So you're coming in, and they have these 3 solutions to an academic problem, and you just kind of have to guide them, okay? So how are you going to guide them? There's 3 easy steps that I'm going to be looking for. First, I want you to state the solution that you chose for the problem, okay? So I chose the solution to choose the major that gets a job with the highest salary. Now, like I said, this is going to come across as opinion until we explain the tools that we use to help us really critically think about why this solution we feel is best. Okay, otherwise it's just plain opinion. And in the professional world, unfortunately, opinion matters and opinion is interesting. But if you want to be a leader or you want someone to take your ideas seriously, you have to be able to explain how you got to that solution, to that opinion. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to explain which tools or resources helped you decide that this solution was best. Oops. So I'm not asking for you to cross-analyze and decide, okay, is that one really the best one? No. What I'm asking is, based on what you read in the lecture, you're given a lot of different activities and critical thinking approaches. I'm asking you to give me two tools, activities, or resources from the lecture that you think, if you were in this scenario, which ones would you use? So the next part of your assignment, I want you to state those 2 tools from the lecture that you picked out to help you find the solution to this problem. So for this problem, I decided that the what if activity from lecture 6, lesson 2 would probably be one I would use, and then conducting credible research from lecture 6, lesson 6. Those were 2 things that were talked about in the lecture that I think would work really well in this scenario. Now, if you're wondering, well, why those 2? What are those 2? Okay, that's the next thing you're going to do in the assignment. The next thing you're going to do in the assignment, this yellow part here, is I basically just want you to explain, what are these tools all about? Like what is the what if activity, and what does it, why is research important? What is research? Okay, so I go in and I directly state the what if activity is essentially a brainstorming tool that gets us to think about the future. And I think this tool would work really well because when we choose a degree or a major at college, it's all about thinking about our future. So I think that the what if tool would work really well because it's a future brainstorming tool, and it leads me to want to research more, which is my second tool. The next thing that you need to do after you explain what the tools are that you chose is just to give a little bit of discussion on, why do you feel these tools would work? So I'll go ahead and plug that in here. And essentially, to summarize, I just said that, if Merida and Aaron are sitting here debating if getting paid really well or having an interesting job, if they're debating between those 2 things to help them choose their major, maybe it's possible to have both. So I think that using the what if tool and research may help them find a job that is both interesting and high paying. Now, if you're thinking, well, duh, this is common sense, it's not. What I'm essentially grading you on is not to understand how to pick a major. What I'm grading you on is your ability to go back to the lecture and pick out 2 critical thinking tools or activities that you think would lead someone who doesn't know anything about critical thinking. It would help them. It would provide some tools for them to work through the problem, okay? So this is essentially what you're asked to do. Again, just to recap, state the solution you'd choose, handpick 2 tools from the lecture that you think would work really well in this scenario, and explain and talk about those tools, okay? I'm not looking for a debate on which solution is best. That's not what I'm looking for. What I want to see is I want to see you handpick 2 tools and just explain to me, what are those tools, and briefly tell me, why do you think those tools are ideal when working with this type of problem? Because what you're going to notice, okay, so we address the academic problem here. There's also in this assignment 2 other problems. There's a workplace problem and there's a personal problem. So you might notice that, well, the what if tool doesn't really work well for the workplace problem, but maybe something else works really well. So in your lecture, I have the Word version up right now, but you can go through. There are tons of tools and resources and activities. Anything is fair game. And some people in the personal problem, they even resort back to lecture 2 when we learn about the communication model and barriers and electronic communication. That's okay too. All right, well, I hope this was helpful. Thanks for spending some time with me to talk about this. This assignment, sometimes students feel are challenging because they think that it's all about explaining which solution is best. And it kind of is, it's kind of worded that way, but really what I'm looking for is for you to handpick tools from the lecture that would help you solve that problem, because not all tools work the same in each scenario, right? So good luck this week. Reach out with any questions, and remember that I'm always available to review any drafts of your homework assignments that you want to send over to me. I just ask for 24 to 48 hour turnaround time. So if you want to, for example, turn it in by Friday, you need to get it to me earlier in the week, okay? All right, I think you guys are awesome, and I will talk more with you soon.